Hey YouTube, this is American Islander, and we are here to do a review of the show Lovecraft Country. This show appears exclusively on HBO Max, and it premiered on August 16th, 2020. It only lasted one season, as the show was not renewed for a second season, and it is based off the novel written by Matt Ruff, and it serves as a continuation of the novel as well. Lovecraft Country was actually announced on May 16th, 2017, and it is reported that Jordan Peele brought the project to Bad Robot Productions and enlisted Misha Green to help develop the show. Bad Robot Productions is headed by one J.J. Abrams, who is a co-creator of Lost, director of Mission Impossible 3, and also directed, produced, and wrote The Force Awakens, along with many other projects that he has worked on. Misha Green serves as a writer on Sons of Anarchy, Heroes, and Spartacus, and is also the co-creator of the show Underground. Jordan Peele, he is notable for directing, producing, and writing the movie Get Out and Us, and also co-created The Last OG, and also serves as a producer of The Black Klansman, and also co-creator of Key and Peele. Episode 1 of Lovecraft Country is titled Sundown, and it starts off with the opening scene of the dream of Atticus Freeman, where there's a war going on, but there's other things, sci-fi, aliens, and monsters. Even Jackie Robinson appears, and it's just a lot going on. But then we find out later things going on in the episode.
And if you look further down in the episode, you realize that the dream is about a book that he was reading titled Princess from Mars. And that book features an ex-soldier who was in the war who encountered aliens, and that's why he had that specific dream in the first episode. And as we go later down, we see that the bus breaks down, and while he's on his way to visit his family in Chicago. We fast forward to the next scene in the episode, and we realize that his father is missing, and he wrote him an encrypted note to go to Lovecraft Country, which is a specific area that he wants him to travel to because he is looking about finding information about his mom's side of the family. And his uncle gave us a little bit of hint, the way how he reacted to the note, and tried to make him steer away from going to visit Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, the uncle is acting a little nervous, a little shifty. But in the end, he decided to go with Tick to the specific location, Lovecraft Country. But before I think they headed out, I think Tick made a call to a woman in South Korea, which I found interesting. I didn't know what it was or why he called South Korea. I mean, I guess he was in Korea during the war. But what was the reason for that call? And all the woman said is you shouldn't have called, really. So that was a little interesting note there, that I found.
I think actually the woman said that you shouldn't have gone back, but we don't know gone back to where. And we don't know what exactly happened, which we may or may not know why he called, but it seems like on his way to find his father, the next scene that is very important, if you do decide to watch this show, was when they end up in Simpsonsville, and it had a shooting that occurred. And my favorite scene, I will insert a clip. When the shooting occurred, because it was very funny to me, a little bit of humor in there. And they were at a near-death experience where a random woman came to save him. And I think that may have ties to South Korea. That's my conspiracy.
Yeah, they were stopping to get something to eat. They were looking for a place called Lydia's Diner, but it was no longer there. and it was a new diner. And after a while, we see that Letty, she was over listening to the, I guess, the waiter, and the waiter made a call to some people, and then after a while, Tick, he had a nervous feeling about the place too. We saw that, and then he asked specifically why was a White House painted, I think white, I believe it was, and then George Freeman, he answered because they had to paint it white because to make sure to cover all the burn marks. After it was the original White House was burned down. And once they realized that, they got out of there, but then they're being chased. And the silver car, the woman in the silver car.
Yeah, she randomly appeared and she flipped the car, which is very strange. And one thing that I can say is that they rely on encrypted messages, because the way how he said they painted the White House because the White House got burned down, so they painted it white, was a message to themselves. And they did that a lot in the episode. And as we go further down into the next scene, which is very important, was in Devon County, where it had a police chase, and the police told them that it was a sundown state. Hence, the episode name is Sundown, because back in those days, people of color could not be seen after the sun goes down, or they will be lynched.
Yeah, the whole county of Devon County, it was a sundown county. But even after it was a sundown county, the people at Tick, Letty, George, they managed to get out past the railroad tracks. Even then, there's still a blockade set up for them.
Because I believe the police officer who they encountered when they were in Devon County probably called the next county police officers and warned them that there are people of color that is going to cross the county lines to try to get out so that they don't get lynched. But it's so funny and strange how when they were about to beat them or whatever they was trying to do to the main characters, strange creatures appeared and kind of saved them, you can say.
In a way, I mean, this is all happening while they were looking for the specific spot in Lovecraft Country. I guess it was an off-the-road kind of place. And, after, the police officers, they look like they're about to, basically kill him right then and there on the spot. The monsters appeared. And immediately one person got their arm ripped off. And it was just a crazy, chaotic scene where Tick and Letty, they managed to escape, but George was left back behind.
Yeah, and what was so interesting about, to me, in that episode as well, when the uncle was left behind, the monsters did not try to attack him. Even though he had a flashlight and the other police had a flashlight, the police flashlight got his arm ripped off when Mr. George did it. He was able to run to the cottage to them, which make it seems a little interesting to me. Like, how can the creatures not attack Mr. George, but they attack the other police officers?
And even when Letty was trying to get to the car and had the flares, they're still ready to pounce on her as well.
Yeah, because she ran to the car without a flashlight, and they were running after her, but they didn't do that to Mr. George like that. One was running after him, but it's like it took a long time, like about 3 minutes after you realize that there was one that was on top of the roof, but they didn't,
It was just
strange.
And then we also see that the monsters, basically, once somebody's bitten, they turn into a monster themselves.
Yes, because one of the police officers, he got bitten and he went into the house, and he turned into a monster and tried to eat them as well. But then they realized that they're sensitive to light. So when Letty got the car, that helped them as well with the flares. And because the police officer that got bit, although he was still half human at the time, he was transforming into a monster.
But they managed to escape him. They managed to escape with their lives. And they eventually ended up in a town called Arden, where we happen to see the silver car again. And this is where the episode ends, with the man who's waiting for them.
Yes, and what was interesting to me, they say they've been expecting their visit. And the same lady who flipped the car, helped them escape in Devon County, is the same one who was expecting them to visit. Now, what do you think? What are predictions for the next episode?
Well, I think they're gonna still having more encounters with monsters, obviously, but they're also gonna, work their way to like a little puzzle. It's not easy to find George's or Tick's father, I should say, but they're gonna work towards it. They're gonna keep trying to find it. We're gonna get more pieces and more clues, and we're also gonna see what George's connection to Lovecraft Country is. Why wasn't he necessarily attacked by the monsters the way Letty was or the police officers were? What's going on there? That's some of the things I think we will find out and keep an eye out for the next episode.
I personally think that the lady, she probably can see into the future, or she has been following them or know about them, or has some kind of connection with Freeman's father, Mr. Freeman's father. So that's what I personally think. And I also think that, of course, there will be more strange creatures and strange monsters. And I truly think that Mr. Freeman's mother was an alien, or half alien, or some type of sort. I truly believe that.
Yeah, some things that we think. It's going to be an interesting episode. I kind of liked the first episode. I thought there were some things going on. You didn't necessarily like it as much?
I think that it's something that makes you think about it, but to actually be, it has my interest, but I'm not that interested. As like some parts I believe that I can foresee, and some parts do have my interest when they twist it, when I think it should be going this way and then it does not go that way. That's what makes me interested. But as you can see, there's a lot of twists and turns. But so far, I think that my predictions, what I've been experiencing while watching it, most of them has come through. And I am going to watch the next episode to see if they can prove my predictions wrong.
Yeah, but first episode, yeah, some questions, not too many answers. We're going to have to see where it goes from here. You can let us know what you think is going to happen. Well, the show already happened, but if you didn't watch, you can let us know. You can also let us know what other shows that you want reviews on, or, just some things that your general thoughts and opinions about the show. And anyways, this has been American Islander. Thank you for sticking with us for this first episode review of Lovecraft Country, and we will see you next time.